And perhaps that night, maybe you were among them. You also maybe were showing your appreciation for him in your own way at home. Maybe this evening, as you've been watching this concert from St. Louis, you've also been feeling that appreciation for this great and gifted musician. Now is the time for you to show your appreciation and honor Roger Williams with a phone call of support to Iowa Public Television, your network, the network which brings you great programs like Roger Williams and his music tonight. It is your dollars that make this music possible on Iowa Public Television. And as Roger Williams said earlier this evening, he said, you know, public television is the network that keeps this service alive, that keeps this music alive for the next generation of Iowans and people all over this country. It's one of the missions and commitments of Iowa Public Television is to make sure that great music and great performance survive. And we do that with your investment of dollars tonight at 800-779-7000. We thank you for this show of support this evening. We thank you for your commitment. Now, if you've not called yet in support of Roger Williams tonight, you still have a few moments to do so. We invite you to do so, in fact, to call and talk with a volunteer at 800-779-7000. Over to Morgan.
Thanks, Todd. I think you get a good idea of what a great time we had when Roger Williams was here. And really, in a sense, that's what Festival is about. It's about having a great time with Iowa Public Television. This is a chance for us to showcase the incredible diversity of programming, all of the things that we can offer you day after day on Iowa Public Television, things that become an important part of your life and that you count on public television to bring to you. So we hope that you will join in the fun of Festival. It's not too late. We have one weekend to go, but we're here waiting for you to call, and we'd like you to be part of the festival fun and the whole spirit of this community effort that we make to produce quality television. So give us a call, won't you? 1-800-779-7000. And if you pledge at the $60 level, as we've mentioned, we have the audio cassette of Roger Williams playing inspirational music, which was taped at the Crystal Cathedral. At the $150 level, we've been telling you about our combo thank you gift, which is the VHS and the CD of the program you've been watching. Join in the fun of Festival, become a friend, and we'll be your friend forever. Thank you. Todd?
We thank you for calling and supporting Iowa Public Television tonight and supporting Roger Williams this evening here on IPTV. Morgan Halgren has been with us tonight, and we're sort of doing a little, this is a transition moment here tonight on your public network. Dan Miller joining us, and also Mike Frisby as we move into a great evening of Doctor Who right here on your public television network. In fact, let's go over to Mike Frisby, who is he's floating as usual this evening here at Iowa Public Television. Mike?
I am. I'm floating up here, Todd, and welcoming everybody to our second Sci-Fi Friday night on Iowa Public Television, the second of Festival 2000. Good evening to you. Last week was Red Dwarf. Tonight, it is Doctor Who night on Iowa Public Television. We'll be showing you a couple special programs. Actually, one very special program, something we've never shown before, to my knowledge, Doctor Who K9 and Company, which was a spin-off, an attempted spin-off from Doctor Who that features K9. And then later on, we'll show you the first episode of our next Doctor Who adventure, which I believe is the genesis of the Daleks. Am I right? Anyway, that's what's in store for us tonight on Iowa Public Television and Sci-Fi Friday night. Dan Miller is going to be here with me. We've got a variety of Whovians answering the phone tonight. The phone banks are filled up. They'd be more than happy to hear from you. We would all be more than happy to hear from you. We had a great Friday last Friday with the Red Dwarf folks. Tonight is the time for the Whovians to shine. And you know, Doctor Who has been a part of Iowa Public Television for what, 2 decades now? 20 years? 20 years at least. And we want to continue to make it part of not only Sci-Fi Friday night, but part of Iowa Public Television's programming. And the way to do that, quite honestly, is to rely on your support. Now's the time to give us a buzz. 1-800-779-7000 is the number to call. Our folks will be happy to answer the phone, talk with you, discuss the pledge options. And do we want to talk now about the little Whovian goodies that we have in store for folks tonight? Endemic to this is the only evening we're going to make these things available. These are Doctor Who specials, and they are available for the very first time. They're our way of saying thanks to you. Now, look at that. This really is special. For a $150 pledge, we thank you with something that is going to be a real collector's item. Look at that. It is Doctor Who, The Land of the Dead. It's a 2 CD audio drama. It's the first newly produced Doctor Who dramatic presentation since the Fox movie a few years back. Peter Davison is there as the fifth Doctor. It's a brand new episode, full cast, audio only. Wow, what a rarity, and we will send it to you as our thank you at the $150 level of participation. Oh my goodness, look at that. For $60, we thank you with a 4-inch, not foot, 4-inch tall, friction-driven Dalek. As it says right here, pull it back, kids, and let it go. Always been my advice, and we want to thank you. That is, by the way, official Doctor Who merchandise. And this cute little bugger can be yours when you pledge $60. What else do we have? Well, this one is kind of dear to my heart. It's the official Doctor Who yo-yo. I'm trying to figure out how to work this thing. I've never been able to work one of these, so I think I'll pledge and take this baby home with me. Look at this thing. It's great. Official Doctor Who merchandise, once again white, featuring that Doctor Who logo. And at $50 pledge, we send it to you. Thanks, thanks, thanks. Again, the number is 1-800-779-7000. But let's not kid ourselves. You're not buying a yo-yo for 50 bucks. You're not buying a little Dalek toy for 60 bucks. You're not buying a CD for 150. What you're doing is helping us bring you the programming you've demonstrated again and again you want to see on Iowa Public Television. And these are our way of saying thanks for that continued support. Tonight's the night to do it. Give us a buzz. Dan Miller is standing by with more information. I hope.
I'm standing amidst your friends, Michael.
You are indeed.
And most of them, none of them are busy enough. This is, Mike Frisbee and I were speaking earlier tonight about, we believe that this is the only place in America where science fiction has a regular weekly presence. It is on Iowa Public Television and Doctor Who has been on Iowa Public Television now well over 20 years, pretty much off and on again since the network began 30 years ago. It has been running without a break, pretty much without a break for at least 14 years. Now, all of that happens. Mike Frisbee floats through the air here, and Doctor Who's on the air every Friday night here, and Red Dwarf is on the air. And you know, these shows will be on the air as long as we can afford, to keep them here. Now, you're part of how that happens. You, with your telephone call, you right now with your phone call to 1-800-779-7000, with your pledge of financial support to one of your colleagues, one of your erstwhile colleagues here in this studio tonight, will keep programming, science fiction programming, Doctor Who programming on the public television network that you have come to expect it on. Many times people call us from states surrounding Iowa and say, you know, we belong to Friends of Iowa Public Television because our public television, some long time ago, in some great absence of thought, they say, we don't, they do, cancel Doctor Who. Well, if you're on the other side of one of those two rivers, I think you know what I'm talking about. You need to tell us now with a telephone call at 800-779-7000 that you will invest your dollars with Friends of Iowa Public Television because you know that those dollars are put to work buying programs like the Doctor Who programs that you can't get anywhere else. You know, we get the Doctor Who series and we get Red Dwarf. You know where they come from. They come from Mother. They come from the BBC. And in America, the BBC goes by the name the BBC Sales Company. It doesn't go by the name the BBC Giveaway Company. It doesn't go by the name of the BBC Not-for-Profit Company. No, it goes by the name of the BBC Sales Company. My experience has been when anybody says that they're from a sales company is that they get paid lots of money for what they sell. The BBC in America, of course, is no exception to that. Doctor Who costs us money. Those of you who very regularly set your tape recorder, set your home video recorders to tape these episodes on Friday nights so that you can have your own permanent collection, need to know that it's an awful lot more expensive for you to buy all of the tapes in the Doctor Who series from the video store or over the net than it is to tape them from public television. So a small investment of the minimum level of $35 is really worth an awful lot, given the fact that if we didn't have Doctor Who here, Michael, they'd have to maybe buy what they're taping, my goodness.
That's true. That's very true. As Annie says, pony up. That's right. A little crude for my taste, but I appreciate the sentiment. Dan makes a very good point. In fact, he made a bunch of them right there. Every year we get phone calls, we get letters, we get email from folks who live in Minnesota, Wisconsin, the Dakotas, Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, folks who watch Iowa Public Television in general and specifically watch Sci-Fi Friday Night on every Friday. And they're with us tonight, and we thank them certainly for their support. We're addressing Iowa tonight basically because we are Iowa Public Television. And it's important to remember when it comes to Sci-Fi Friday Night, the content of the programming over the years, over the past several years, has been pretty much designated by you folks. We ask you every year, what do you want to see? One of the reasons Doctor Who and Red Dwarf have been on as long as they have, those are the two programs your responses indicate you want to see the most. We are committed to showing you what you want to see. And as Dan indicates, we are committed to purchasing it for you as long as we can afford to do so.
That would be purchasing it.
Purchasing is the key word there.
Buying.
BBC, again, doesn't give this stuff away. We could tell stories, well, but that would be talking out of class. The BBC doesn't give this stuff away. I would wager to say the BBC has made a lot more money on Doctor Who since the program went out of production than they ever did when the show was being broadcast originally.
Possibly so.
And one of the reasons that happens is because you and we want to keep seeing it. Let's keep that going. Tonight is the night to stress Doctor Who on Sci-Fi Friday Night. 1-800-779-7000. And Dan, the other point Dan made that I would like to stress, as far as any of us know, this is the only regularly weekly scheduled science fiction program on any not cable, what am I talking about? On any public television station broadcasting network in the country.
That's what we think, yes.
Yeah. And we've been doing it now since I was, what, 7 or 8 years old?
I think so.
It's been a long time.
That's right, yes, that's right.
And I want to collect Social Security out of this gig, so we've got to keep it going. 1-800-779-7000. We've got some great entertainment. Tonight we're showing you something we have never broadcast before, a Doctor Who special program, K9 and Company, which was intended to be a spin-off from Doctor Who, a brand new series the BBC was thinking about putting on. The pilot was shot. The pilot was very successful when it was broadcast, but once again, the numbers weren't quite good enough. So the BBC deep-sixed it. It's become a one-of-a-kind thing. We've never shown it. We're going to show it to you tonight in just a few minutes. That's the kind of stuff we've been able to get because you fund it. You fund it. Let's keep it going. 1-800-779-7000. And again, we have trinkets, we have gifts, we have basically little items that we say thank you with. Official Doctor Who merchandise only this year. And this one is rather exciting. For a $150 contribution, we thank you with the first newly produced Doctor Who drama in many, many moons, featuring Peter Davison, the Fifth Doctor, in a brand new episode, The Land of the Dead. It's a 2-CD set, and it can be yours when you pledge $150. At the $60 level, this cute and cuddly 4-inch plastic official friction-driven Dalek. Again, this is the official merchandise. It's amazing. What, the Dalek just bit the dust there, I think, didn't it? Let me see that thing, Andy. This thing is incredible. Anyway, and it can be yours at that $60 level. It was running up and down my arm just a few minutes ago. Trust me on this. For $50, we thank you with the official Doctor Who yo-yo, which I have right here. Look at this. It's white. It features the Doctor Who logo. It is the winged style yo-yo, and it can be yours at that $50 level. And again, of course, Advance Magazine, your weekly guide, is sent to you at any pledge level over $35. 1-800-779-7000. We want to get to Doctor Who, K9 and Company, but we want to get these phones going, too. We're into the second row, but we seemed a bit stalled there about halfway through. The poor folks in the last row who've come all this way to talk to you would like to do just that. What do you think, Dan? Can we get the phones all the way around?
Michael, these are folks from as they have been for so many years here in our studio, as your people, Michael, your fans, your people. These are folks from the USS Zurich and UNIT, which is the Universal Network of Iowa Time Lords. Do I have that right? Very good.
That's right.
And also Dragon Wing. And I suspect we've got 40 or so folks here who are here in central Iowa on a Friday night, not because there's nothing else to do in Iowa on a Friday night. Whoa, no, not at all. but because they're committed to the public television network that has always, for them, been the place for them to be on Friday nights because of Doctor Who. One of the things that Michael was talking to you about is worth repeating, and that is the thank you gift that we have at the $150 level, because I am told, and I was told when one of you actually suggested that we get this for this festival campaign, that this is, quoting one of my colleagues out here, like the most recent Doctor Who release. This is the Doctor Who Land of the Dead CD, a 110-minute CD audio drama starring Peter Davison and Sarah Sutton. Brand new, not been out long, right, Leela? Right? Just how long has it been out? A couple of months only. You know, think of this. Public television having a Doctor Who program that's recent? My goodness, just a remarkable thing. It's even in color there as you see it, which is, again, a strange thing for Doctor Who. The other thing I want to mention for those of you who are Doctor Who fans, we do try to adjust this schedule based on your suggestions. Last week, as Michael told you about, we gave you your most favored Red Dwarf episodes. What we have begun doing recently and will continue to do is make it easier for you to build your own library collection of Doctor Who's at home, so that what we do is we try not to ever start a single episode of a multi-part series as the last one on a Friday night. What we're trying to do is make them even so that you can not have to straddle tapes as you continue your series. And that's a result of a suggestion that came, I believe, from Alan Ackner in Iowa City, and maybe others of you also. I just happen to remember it was Alan's as well. So I say that as an example of how we do try to shape our service to you based on your suggestions. The way that we can keep the service on the air, though, is so that this is the only way we know how to do it, is to secure your investment in Iowa Public Television, a place that you've come to watch Doctor Who nearly since the dawn of our service to you 30 years ago, clearly almost, I believe, uninterrupted for at least 15 years, maybe longer than that. We've morphed from an episode a night, played 5 nights a week, to movies stacked on the weekends. Now we're stacking episodes so that we can get different types of science fiction programming on. All of this is an attempt to serve you with sci-fi programming that, as Michael told you earlier, as I have, you don't get anywhere else on broadcast television. You don't get a regular science fiction home for you anywhere else on television in Iowa. Clearly, we believe that's worth something. Think of this wonderful show that we're going to see now. We're going to turn to Mike Frisbee for a very quick setup, and he will then introduce it to you. K9 and Company, not been on our air before. I know many of you are out there waiting to roll your VCR so that you can get your own copy of this puppy, pun intended. And Dr. Frisbee will now tell you a bit more about it, and we'll take you to the show, and we will come back midway through it to remind you about the importance of your investment, your contributions to the place that's making it possible. Michael.
Thank you, Dan. Again, K9 and Company was intended as a spin-off for Doctor Who. They'd hoped to create a whole new series based on the metallic pup. And this pilot was shot, was filmed, and was broadcast with pretty good public response, but not quite good enough for the BBC to commit funds for a whole new series. They've been ambivalent about Doctor Who, as we all know, since the series' inception. At any rate, K9 and Company became a rarity. It's a fun show, it's a good story, and we're going to be happy to show it to you in just a few minutes. Let me run down real quickly the thank you gifts we have for you at that $150 level when you pledge $150. A brand new audio drama, a 2-CD audio drama called Doctor Who, The Land of Death. It's the first new Doctor Who production in many, many years, and it features Peter Davison as the 5th Doctor and Sarah Sutton as Nyssa, so 2 old friends return. Been out 2-3 months, brand new. You'll love it, you will. At the $60 level, the Doctor Who Dalek, an official Doctor Who toy, if you will. It's friction-driven. It is, again, official Doctor Who merchandise made and marketed in Britain. 4 inches tall, we thank you with it at the $60 level. At $50, another official Doctor Who merchandise item, the white Doctor Who logo. It's a wing-style logo, the very best kind, featuring that very stylish Doctor Who logo on both sides. 1-800-779-7000. We will be here to take your calls, but right now, what say we join K9 and Company exclusively on Festival 2000 on your Friday, Sci-Fi Friday night, and on your Iowa Public Television Network. Doctor Who, K9.
Public Television, a resource for Iowa's future.
Canine and Company, a feature of Festival 2000, never before seen on Iowa Public Television. I know a lot of you out there are rolling your video cassette recorders because you want your own copy of this special spin-off from the Doctor Who series. Just as many of you roll your VCRs on Friday nights watching Mike Frisby and Doctor Who and Red Dwarf and all of the other sci-fi programs that we bring you. What you need to do now is you need to pay a bit to the network that makes all of these programs possible, the network that has brought you Sci-Fi Fridays now since Mike Frisby was 7 years old. He claimed earlier tonight, and we all know that he never lies. 800-779-7000 is the number that you call. It's Friday night, it's Science Fiction Friday night, and the Canine and Company program is a special feature of our festival campaign. You know what it's about. It's the time that we have a conversation with you, Mike floating up around the skies, Dan Miller standing here firmly rooted on the earth, as always, talking to you about the importance of your investment in your public television network, and you talking to us back saying, okay, I'll take one of those thank you gifts, man. Tell me what they are again. And then we say, well, that's Mike Frisby's job, so we'll turn to him so he can tell you some of the things that we'll send your way as our way of saying thanks. Where are you, Mike?
I'm right over here, Dan, floating around, and that's what I'm here for tonight, is to tell you how we're going to say thank you for your continued support of not only Sci-Fi Friday Night, but of Iowa Public Television, your public television network. For your contribution of $150, we will thank you with this. Doctor Who, The Land of the Dead. No, it's not a video presentation. It is an audio presentation on 2 CDs, nearly 2 hours long. Came out in January of the year 2000. It's brand new, in other words, and it is the first new official Doctor Who production in many, many years, starring Peter Davison as the 5th Doctor. And again, we thank you with that at your $150 level of participation. At the $60 level, a Doctor Who official Dalek, and more of the Daleks later on this evening, my friends. I must warn you, we will meet them before the evening is through. 4 inches tall, it is a friction-driven Dalek, and again, official Doctor Who merchandise. Our thank you at the $60 level of participation. At the $50 level, another official Doctor Who merchandise item, the Doctor Who yo-yo, with that classy Doctor Who logo on both sides. It's a nifty little yo-yo. If I could demonstrate any tricks, I would, but I can't, so I won't. I want to mention something else, though. Dan kind of hinted at the program we brought you over the years on Sci-Fi Friday Night. Not only Doctor Who, not only Red Dwarf, but Neverwhere, Hitchhiker's Guide. We could go on and on. Shows that you've told us you want to see, shows that we've brought to you. The Invisible Man, things that are running now, space, that's right, all kinds of things, and we're going to keep doing it as long as we can afford to. Now, in a sense, you're contributing to the pot, but in another sense, you're voting. You're voting to show your support for this specific program for Sci-Fi Friday Night. And while you're at it, if you'd like to mention a show you want us to bring to you, feel free to do that. We always want your input. In fact, we need your input to keep doing this. We need your input not only suggestion-wise, obviously, that's why we're here this 2-week period. We need it financially as well. Tonight's the night we want to hear from you at 1-800-779-7000. And remember, the investment you make tonight lasts all year round. 52 Friday nights throughout the year. We'll just keep rolling it over and doing it again and again. Dan promised last week Red Dwarf will be on as long as we can afford to bring it to you. And I would imagine we could pretty much make the same pledge on Doctor Who. We will keep doing it as long as we can afford. So you've got to help us do that. We can't do it ourselves. 1-800-779-7000. We've got the first row going. It's kind of quiet. I know it's late. And I know we've been doing this for what now, 10, 12 days? Well, festival seems like it's gone on 10, 12 years if you've been here every night, I am sure. I am sure. I'm only here a couple nights, and this is the only night I'm here for Doctor Who. So let's do it. Let's make those phone calls now. Good grief, if we didn't have this show, I'd be hanging out getting in trouble on Friday nights. 1-800-779-7000. We're getting back to K9 and Company fairly soon. A little later on, we'll show you the first part of our next Doctor Who adventure, Genesis of the Daleks, which will continue next week on our regularly scheduled Sci-Fi Friday Night. We'll give you a little taste of it yet tonight. 1-800-779-7000 Am I missing anything, Dan? Anything else
Not at all.
we
In
can talk
fact,
about?
I think you hit upon a very good thing when you told the viewers when they call and make a pledge to also tell us what they want to see next as part of your Sci-Fi
Absolutely.
Friday Night lineup.
Absolutely.
That's a great idea. We know, you know, that there are just so many people out there who've just said so many strong things about the Invisible Man series. None of them polite and very few of them good. But, you know, if you have, otherwise, we got a pretty good idea from you all that you don't want us to buy more Invisible Man programs, and we probably won't do that. But there is a running debate about some of the others that we've had, about whether to bring some back, about whether to buy that second part of that series from Australia, the sci-fi series from Australia. All of those we'd like to hear your comments about when you call and when you make a pledge, because it's the dollars that you pledge to these folks. And these are folks, you know, many of you out there watching probably know a lot of these folks. A lot of these are your friends. They're from the USS Zurich and UNIT, which is the Universal Network of Iowa Time Lords, and from Dragon Wing, all here tonight in Central Iowa at Iowa Public Television's World Headquarters, listening to friends like you around Iowa, talking to you about sci-fi programming, a genre of programming that public television has had as part of our service to you, probably pretty much for the 30 years, better part of the 30 years, clearly, that we've been operating in this state. We built the network, you know, one station at a time, one program at a time, one telephone call at a time. It's late, Michael's correct, but you're up. We know that because we know from phone mail, from email, from telephone calls, from letters that Sci-Fi Friday Night does have a very, very loyal following. And what we need to do now in this break, in this K9 program, as part of this festival campaign, is we need to tap into that reservoir of strength that Doctor Who has in all 99 of Iowa's counties and many of the states surrounding Iowa. That strength, that reservoir, has got to pay the piper. It is, after all, the BBC sales company. It's not the BBC nonprofit company. It's not the BBC giveaway company. It is the BBC sales company that Iowa Public Television purchases these programs from. And the programs don't come cheaply. We know that you know that. Many of you have a pretty good understanding of how Mother, the BBC, works. You know exactly that when they actually do send us the right program. And by the way, you know, this is pretty commendable. The BBC has been giving us the correct programs now for the better part of a year. By the way, Michael, Carmen of the Dub House sends her regards to you.
Thank you, Carmen. Thank you,
very
Carmen.
much.
And we appreciate your good
The whole
efforts
point
this
of it
last year.
is that the BBC is providing the kind of programming that you tell us that you want. BBC did not provide that Invisible Man series, though. And that Invisible Man series will probably become invisible as time goes on here, trying to replace it with some others. You tell us when you ring the phones here. We've gotten halfway through this middle row, which is great. You see a hologram there taking a phone call. That's wonderful. And Lee is taking a phone call now to the right. We're now to the second row of this Starship Public Television set here that we've got, Michael.
That's
we
right.
want to get it into the back row in the middle of this break in K9 and Company. Wouldn't it be something on a night like this? Wouldn't it be something? And it's believable, this is plausible, that this break, that the sci-fi break, that the Doctor Who break could, in fact, for the first time tonight, ring the bell in the corner.
Wow.
Ring the bell. Wouldn't it be great
let's
to
do it.
show the programming geeks here at Public Television, that would be me, that science fiction programming outdraws all the rest on this Friday night? Wouldn't that be something? 800-779-7000. That's the number. That's how you do it. You know what the cause is. We need to secure your investment. We need to secure as much investment as we can. We need to secure it right now. 800-779-7000. Become a member of Friends during Festival 2000, because it is your membership, your phone calls, the calls that you're making right now. That call that Lee took a while ago was a bust. So we gotta get to that phone again, because Lee be disappointed right now. 800-779-7000. If you're on the web, multitasking,
Wow.
www.iptv.org, point that browser, ePledge, pretty easy. A lot of available ways to do that. You can see them when you go there. Either way, we want to take your money and put it to work for more science fiction programming. Michael Frisby.
That's right, we certainly do. And we will be back to that science fiction programming quite soon as we continue with K9 and Company. But I understand right now we have a special word from K9, its own bad self. Is that right?
Affirmative. I am K9, Doctor's best friend. Call now and make your pledge.
Only on Iowa Public Television, friends. You heard that heartfelt plea from K9 itself. 1-800-779-7000. How can you turn down a robotic dog? How can you turn down a robotic dog? We're in Iowa, for goodness sakes. We love animals here. Make this dog's night. Make my night. 1-800-779-7000 is the number. And once again, maybe we can make your year a little more Whovian if we run down our goodies here. At that $150 level of participation, we want to thank you with something that's brand new. We've never had it before. It wasn't there to have. It is Doctor Who, The Land of the Dead, the first new Doctor Who production in some time. And it's an all-audio production on 2 CDs, nearly 2 hours long. Look, there's Peter Davison as the 5th Doctor. If you open up the CD, you see Peter looking a lot more like me than he does on the cover. He has about as much hair as I do anymore, but he's still a great Doctor Who. $150, we thank you with that. At the $60 level, a 4-inch tall official Doctor Who Dalek. Look at that thing. It's cute, it's cuddly, and it can be yours at the $60 level. $50, the official Doctor Who yo-yo. And again, this is all official Doctor Who sanctioned material from Great Britain. The BBC says it's okay. And we've never been able to make this available to you. This is the first time we've been able to do that. $50, you get the yo-yo, of course. At all 3 levels of participation, at any level above $35, you will receive our monthly Advance program guide. Morgan was talking earlier, when you look through Advance, you're going to discover things you never knew were on Iowa Public Television. Great shows that run every day of the week. It's an amazing little publication, and it's yours, $35 and up. It's worth the $35 right there. 1-800-779-7000 is the number. What are we up to now? What are we going to do? We're going to get you... Is Dan still over there?
Yes, I am. It's amazing.
I thought maybe K9 frightened you away when it began to speak.
The corduroy dog and the robotic corduroy dog was great.
It was an amazing moment.
It was one I've never witnessed before,
No,
and may never witness again on public television. Bill, who is out here with Unit, though, does pass along some very good information. Not the dog, though. Bill does. And he points out to us, Bill is, by the way, on the last phone up there in the far corner, points out a very important thing, that there are only 17 stations in the United States carrying Doctor Who.
That's
and
amazing.
Iowa Public Television is one of them. And I know that number has dropped considerably.
Yes.
Over the past decade. When I first started programming here 14, 15 years ago, I think there were around 40, so the numbers have been cut by greater than half. And that's because around the country, the support for Doctor Who abated, and the fans were not as strong as they are here in Iowa. You need to show that again, because the fans in Iowa and states surrounding Iowa need to go to the phone and pony up here and continue to support the public television network that has always had science fiction programming as part of its mission, as part of its service, and once a year seeks the funding for people like you, people who are sitting at home now waiting for K9 and Company to return so they can go back to their video cassette and record it and have the program at home. And we'll do that. We may even count it down for you so that you can gain enough speed to the tape so that you won't have any warbles when you take it out of pause. What you need to do, though, is in this break, you need to tell us at 800-779-7000 that you do, in fact, understand what we're all talking about here, and that we're talking about the survival of a genre of programming on over-the-air broadcasting. Nothing less than that. It's the survival of a genre of programming, and that genre is science fiction programming, and specifically within that, it's Doctor Who. There's a reason why those 40 to 50 stations are now numbering 17. It's because it is difficult to continue to afford these programs, and the only way that we can make it work is for you to go to the telephone and to say to us that you will help us pay for it. Your dollars equal programs. That's how we've made this work over the past 20 years. You know, you were here last week. Many of you, I'm sure, are Red Dwarf fans. If you're not, and were sitting watching the Red Dwarf fans at work last week, you know what happened. Every single one of these phones, every single one of these volunteers sitting here in this studio took telephone calls. Bill's bell rang back there. Great show of support rhetorically great show of support here for public television, but also a wonderful show, a show of dollars. We raised money last week so Red Dwarf could continue to be on the air. We need to raise money tonight so that Doctor Who in Iowa stays on the air, and so that Iowa Public Television doesn't join the dozens of others which have had to let Doctor Who float off into space because they couldn't afford it, because their fans were no longer as generous as we know you can be, because their fans around the country didn't see the return on their investment that we know you see, because their fans simply turned away, and as a result, Doctor Who was no more. That's not what we want to have happen in Iowa. We need to raise the money to buy this program from the BBC sales company so that you can continue to enjoy it on Friday nights. If you're one of those who wants us to continue Doctor Who so that you can finally finish that library that you've been taping for 12.5 years, well, you need to pay us a little bit for that library, for that, to continue that videotape ability, because otherwise we can't continue to buy the series from the BBC. What's that, sales company?
Yes. That's the BBC,
from the BBC
sales company.
Sales company, Mike.
That's right. The BBC sales company. And the prices for Doctor Who have not dropped concurrently with the stations running the program, we might add. That one of the, as you pointed out, one of the reasons the show has been dropped by so many stations is because it continues to cost a pretty penny. And the way we raise that pretty penny is by asking you to contribute. The way we thank you for that is by offering you some tokens of our esteem. At the $150 level, we offer you a brand new audio production, Peter Davison as the Fifth Doctor in the Land of the Dead, released just this January. At the $60 level of participation, it is the Doctor Who Dalek, a little 4-inch tall Dalek. Quite cute, quite authentic, and quite a bit of fun. At $50, speaking of fun, nothing tops that. The Doctor Who official yo-yo featuring that logo on both sides. A very handsome white plastic yo-yo, yours at the $50 level. Right now, though, I think we'd best get back to some actual Whovian entertainment as Iowa Public Television and Sci-Fi Friday Night proudly present for the first time on our airwaves Doctor Who and K9 and Company. Let's do it right now on Iowa Public Television.
Call now and make your pledge. Affirmative. I am K9, a girl's best friend. Call now and make your pledge. Back to you, Dan.
You don't ever follow little kids or dogs, do you, Michael? Well, I think that the dog said it all. 800-779-7000. This is the final opportunity we will have, and I know you're very grateful for that, the final opportunity we will have this festival campaign, perhaps not this evening, but this festival campaign, to talk directly with those of you who find some humor in what you just saw or find some enjoyment in the extraordinary diversity of science fiction programming that we bring to you every Friday night, wrapped as it is with the scintillating background intellectual behind-the-scenes comments of Michael Frisby. If you enjoy all of that, the dog, Frisby, the shows, any of that, give us a call, 800-779-7000, and tell us that you'll pay for what you see. Just a little bit, but you'll pay a bit for what you see. Because you know the notion that public television has had since we began our service to you 30 years ago, that notion of community investment, community involvement, community support. You also know that you get some pretty good deals back. You get a lot of programs, 52 weeks of shows, and you'll also get some, I think, some neat thank you gifts, one of which just came out just a few months ago, one of the new Doctor Who audio plays, a 2-CD set that Michael Frisby will tell you about now. Michael.
That's right, Dan. This new CD set's a pretty nifty little item, and it's our way of thanking you at that $150 level. This is the first new Doctor Who production in some time. In fact, since the putative Doctor Who movie of, what, 4 or 5 years ago, Peter Davison, the real Fifth Doctor, and Sarah Sutton as Nyssa star in this. It's a brand new, almost 2-hour-long, exciting drama, and it's only been out for a couple of months. Yours for the $150 level of participation. For the $60 gift, our gift to you is, look at that thing. Now, who would not want one of those in the house? 4 inches tall, so it can't hurt you. It's friction driven. Pull that baby back, it scoots across the floor, and it is official Doctor Who merchandise. So is the gift we offer you at the $50 level, the Doctor Who yo-yo. It is the famous winged style yo-yo, white, featuring that Doctor Who logo, and again, it's official Doctor Who merchandise, and it's yours at the $50 level. All 3 levels bring you Advance Magazine, which we've spoken about earlier in the evening. 1-800-779-7000 is that number. And as you call us tonight, and please do, let's mention something else that we talked about last time. If you have any ideas for the show, things you want to see over the next year or so, mention that to the good person who picks up the phone. Your input is of extreme importance to us as Dan puts together these packages that we run throughout the year. And as you know, we solicit that opinion and your advice throughout the 12 months. We're doing it again tonight. But more importantly tonight, we're actually soliciting the Geetus. We're looking for some dough. We're hitting you up for the bucks so the show itself can continue. So we can continue to bring you the science fiction programming you've come to expect in Iowa Public Television. Probably the only block of science fiction programming on any public station in the country. We're here. We want to keep doing it. Dan is committed to keep doing it as long as we can afford to do it. And you're the key to that. 1-800-779-7000. Now, we've had a pretty good night tonight. We've got the first row going here. We're into the second row. It would be nice, Dan, if we could get all the way around. I don't know if it's possible.
There's that old Friday night, sci-fi Friday night little trick we could pull, maybe.
Well, that's true. There is a sci-fi Friday night trick that's been fairly successful in the past, and that is, if you'll go around with us and ring that bell, we'll get back to K9 and Company, and we won't bother you for the rest of the night. After K9 and Company, we will go directly into Part 1 of Genesis of the Daleks, which is our next Doctor Who adventure. We're going to tease you with just the first part tonight to kind of fill out the evening, and then next week we'll pick it up and get back to normal on Sci-Fi Friday night, the usual run. We'd like to do that. We'd like to send all these good people home. We'd like to get ourselves home. We'd like to get you to bed a little bit earlier. Let's ring these phones. Let's ring them all. Go all the way around. We've got a long way to go. I think we need another 30, 40 calls.
Yeah, we do. We got to have, I think 35 will do it.
Okay.
Beginning first with Al in front of me over here. I think Al's phone's got to ring. Al will take your call, 800-779-7000. That's the number that's on the bottom of your screen. You see it right there. All of these folks representing various science fiction organizations, Doctor Who organizations, etc. in Central Iowa. They're here because they know that public television, that Iowa public television, especially in the Midwest, is one of the last places they can see Doctor Who. And they're devoting a bit of their Friday night because people like you need to talk to them because they know that, and they need to take a bit of your money at that number on the bottom of your screen, 800-779-7000. Michael told you one additional request we're making tonight, and that is for you to tell these folks, these volunteers like Al, who's just taken a call, or like Russ next to him, some of the things you'd like us to look into as we wind down one series and maybe begin another. Now, that Invisible Man series, so popular it's been here with so many science fiction fans. I know that, correct,
yeah,
Doctor?
You've heard about that, yeah.
Yes, well, after that's over, what do you want us to buy? We've heard from a number of folks that we ought to try to get Part 2, second chapter of Space Island 1. Maybe we should bring Blake 7 back. Maybe Survivors, somebody said. Doomwatch. Star Cops, don't think we can get Star Cops. The Tomorrow People was a suggestion from a sci-fi fan about a year ago. We've kept it. We haven't decided on that yet. The Tripods, the Day of the Triffids, some of those have been suggested by those of you around the state. Bugs, Into the Labyrinth, and even The Prisoner and the Chronicles of Narnia, though not sci-fi. Some of you found that it might be pretty interesting to see them on a Friday night as part of this block. I'd kind of like to see Michael Frisby introduce the Chronicles of Narnia.
That would be interesting.
It would be. I think that's worth the price of admission, and the price of admission here is as little as $35. That is the basic level membership in Friends of Iowa Public Television. You get Advance Magazine, so you know the order in which we're playing these new series, and you also know really right away when the programmer who schedules them maybe messes up occasionally. I don't know that to have ever been true.
It doesn't happen very often,
No.
but I'm sure it's imaginable.
And I also know that that you've been very kind when I've done that.
Well, of course.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
All of this is our way of trying to have a little fun with you and convince those of you out there that are watching this program tonight that the dollars that we seek are used to buy programs like this that you can't get anywhere else. Remember what Bill had told us earlier, Bill up in the corner, only 17 stations left in America running Doctor Who. Now we think it's because they're fans around the country. The audiences at those in the stations that have abandoned Doctor Who weren't as solid and as strong as you all are in Iowa, as you all are in Nebraska and South Dakota and Minnesota and Illinois and in Missouri. We think that's the case. We don't want to lose this series because losing this series would mean that Iowa Public Television is losing something that has been a part of it clearly for the better part of our 30 years of service to you. Losing Doctor Who is not something that we want to have happen. Losing Doctor Who is not something that, as the program director here, I want to have happen on my watch. Maintaining Doctor Who is something that we want at Iowa Public Television because it's always been such a part of our service. We believe that maintaining Doctor Who is something that you want at your public television network as well, because that's what you tell us. That's what you tell us when you go to the website. That's what you tell us when you telephone. That's what you tell us when you write. Maintaining Doctor Who on public television is what all of this is about. Maintaining Sci-Fi Friday Night on public television is what all of this is about. Maintaining Mike Frisbee in this job so he could draw Social Security, as he said earlier tonight, is only a portion of what this is about.
A very small portion, unfortunately,
That's
but
right.
it is a portion. 1-800-779-7000. Make my latter years golden ones. Is that what no chance. No chance. We do want to thank you, though, for your support over the years in general and specifically. We would like to thank you tonight as you make those pledges and continue to call. We have plenty of operators standing by. We thank you at that $150 level. Let me run through these again one last time. With the Doctor Who Land of the Dead CD. It's a double CD set, in fact, and the exciting news about this, not only is it the first time we've offered it, it's the first time it's been available. Came out in January, and it is a new Doctor Who audio production starring one of our favorite doctors, Peter Davison, as the 5th Doctor. Be the first to own and listen to this baby by pledging $150. Great, great package there. $60, kind of a cute little thing. It's a 4-inch tall official Doctor Who Dalek. There are a number of these Daleks available, and this is kind of the standard model. It's yours, with our thanks at the $60 level. And for the child in all of us, or perhaps for the child who lives with all of us, $50, the Doctor Who yo-yo. It's a white air-style yo-yo there. What do they call it? Wing style. Wing style.
What do you think?
I'm not big on yo-yos, you can tell. I don't know what this wing style is, but I assume it has to do with the shape of the yo-yo itself. It's new. This is a new thing. Of course it's new, and it's new to us. It's the first time we've offered it.
So many things are.
Almost everything. Everything to me is new. I'm like a child. Every day is a new experience. That's just the memory going, I think. But I do remember that 1-800-779-7000 is the number, and I remember the support you've been so gracious to give us over the years. We're asking for it again tonight. It's the last time this festival that we feature Sci-Fi Friday Night, so it's really my only chance tonight to connect with you personally and ask you to help us out so we can help you by providing the programming we've all enjoyed for so many years right here. 1-800-779-7000 is the number. Iowa Pride, we've talked about it a lot this week, and boy, there are a lot of reasons for the folks in the state to be proud of Iowa this week. Great basketball, great things happening, and one of the great things that happens week in, week out, year after year is the programming you receive on your Iowa Public Television Broadcasting Network. Be a part of it and help it continue to grow and entertain you. 1-800-779-7000, the number to call. How are we doing there? We're still kind of mired down in that second row, Dan.
Yep, just as, you know, I think it's the fact that they've heard too much from me and not enough from the dog, from Canine.
That
so
may
as we
be.
go, yeah, it would always be true, probably. So as we go back to the conclusion of K9 and Company, we do so the same way we got here.
Affirmative. Call 1-800-779-7000 and make your pledge.
Can you get that thing to sing in a line?
Affirmative. I am K9. A girl's best friend. Call 1-800-779-7000 now and make your pledge. Back to you, Dan.
You know, I just think we all of these folks in the studio here tonight who represent the USS Zurich and the United Network of Iowa Time Lords and Dragon Wing should put their hands together for Jim Leisure for showing us that wonderful, wonderful canine. Jim Leisure is our audio engineer, is well beyond the camera range, but he's listening and he's responsible for that. And that's an example of the kind of creativity, and you actually may see Jim in a second because we're gonna do this because that's what we were about here. Pretty soon that he'll be able to get Jim in focus way up there near where Mike Frisbee flies around. Anyway, what we're doing now is just taking a quick break. And we're asking those of you who have... There's Jim. There you go. That's great. There we go. Now we've done that. Wonderful. Yes, very good. Maybe K9 will say something again before this break is over. A couple of minutes here trying to secure a few more $100 from people like you who are getting set to put another tape in their machine and tape the next episode of Doctor Who that's coming your way as part of Festival 2000. 800-779-7000 is the number. What we seek is your investment in Iowa Public Television because it's the only place in the Midwest where we believe that you see Doctor Who on broadcast television, the only place that has a regular commitment to science fiction programming. We said it last week, and so many Red Dwarfs fans responded that we will keep Red Dwarf on the air as long as we can afford it. We've said it tonight. And not as many Doctor Who fans have responded as should, as we had hoped, as we believe really need to. That we'd like to be able to keep Doctor Who on the air for a long time, and we will as long as we can afford it. But as of now, we've just not had the kind of support that we're going to need to keep it. It's up to you. Does it stay or does it go? 800-779-7000. That's what you're doing. You're voting with your wallet, with your pocketbook at this late hour on this final Saturday of Festival, on this final Friday night of Festival 2000. You are voting with your dollars, telling us here at Public Television that what we do matters and that you will help keep it on the air. Mike Frisbee.
That's absolutely right, Dan. And again, this is the best way that we have of finding out what matters to you. It was a wonderful, wonderful week for Red Dwarf last Friday night, and we'd like to make it just a little bit stronger for Doctor Who tonight. 1-800-779-7000 is the number. We know it's late. We do have episode 1 of Genesis of the Daleks coming your way in just a few minutes. But let me, if I might, run down once again the thank you gifts that we do make available to you as our way of saying thank you for your continued support of Sci-Fi Friday Night and Iowa Public Television. At the $150 level of participation, it's Doctor Who, The Land of the Dead, a brand new audio production on 2 CDs, nearly 2 hours long, featuring Peter Davison and Sarah Sutton. That for $150. At the $60 level, it is the 4-inch tall Dalek, a friction-driven official Doctor Who merchandise toy. $60, it is yours. It's kind of cute, isn't it? And for $50, the Doctor Who official yo-yo. It's an all-white yo-yo with the Doctor Who logo. It's now, Dan tells me this winged-style yo-yo is the newest thing. It's the most modern and way best kind of yo-yo. The only kind that we would offer you, and we offer it for the paltry $50 pledge. Each of these pledge levels, and of course any pledge level of $35 or above, will bring you Advance Magazine, our monthly guide to everything that's going down the wire on Iowa Public Television. 1-800-779-7000 is that number. Now we've got a few calls. I know it's late. I know it's late. Believe me, I've been here quite a while. The folks around me have been here weeks. Dan and Annie and the rest of the crew.
Jim Leisure?
Jim Leisure.
He didn't used to talk like that.
Leisure sounded fine last Friday night.
That's exactly right.
A week, his voice has gone north. It's tough. It's tough. This is not an easy business. And believe me, I know it. As we pound it out of you, 1-800-779-7000 is the number. Give us a call. What did you say? Multitasking?
Multitasking. If you are multitasking, www.iptv.org is the place that you point your browser to. And ePledge, credit card, check, however you want. That ePledge site makes it very, very easy. We just have about 5 minutes, I'm told by Ann Fredrickson, erstwhile producer of Sci-Fi Friday Night, and the one who monitors, by the way, those of you who try to cheat when you vote on favorite shows or not, that's Ann Fredrickson who monitors that. So you can't do that because you can't put anything past Ann. As those of you last week knew, when I think, there might have been some skullduggery going on. How do you pronounce that word?
I think you were right on target with that. You stretched it out, but
regarding
I think
the old red dwarf votes. Now, look, we've got some calls into the front row. Patrick down here on the right. St. Patrick's Night, Patrick from the USS Zurich. Look at this guy. He's here. The only guy who's got really any spirit of the green tonight. Well, I know you've got green now, but he's really got the spirit of the green. And it's there. He's on the phone. We got the first 3 callers, the front row, one more phone in the front row, and we could fill up this. This would be great for this hour a night. Look at Patrick there. Spirit of the green. Now, there's some other green here, too.
That's right.
And Al was very quick to tell me that he had green on, but Patrick's really got the spirit of the green. There's Al's green. That's not Al Green, by the way. That's Al's green. 800-779-7000. If I'm reaching that far for one, you know it's pretty old, sir. 800-779-7000. Back to Mike Frisbee.
Little Al Green would sound mighty good about right now, wouldn't it? Anyway, Al's not with us, but you are. And here's your chance to make your present known and flash us a little green of your own. 1-800-779-7000 is the number. We could fill up this front row without much trouble. We're only talking about 4 or 5 more phone calls right now. Then we'd be able to get back to the programming and do a little Dalek action to get you ready for bed this Friday night or early Saturday morning. 1-800-779-7000. Help us keep Doctor Who on the air for you as we have these many, many years. We want to keep it going. And again, if you got an extra second, tell the good folks you talk to your suggestions for further programming on Sci-Fi Friday Night. That's very important to us. It's your show. It's your show as much as anybody's. And here's your chance to keep it going. 1-800-779-7000. You want to run through things again here?
Sure.
All righty, $150. We'll give you the Doctor Who Land o' the Dead. It's a brand new 2-CD audio drama. No video, all audio. The Theater of the Mind, as we call it. Featuring Peter Davison. 4-inch tall Doctor Who official merchandising Doctor Who Dalek. Look at it. Be in awe of it. And it can be yours at that $60 level. Well, not too much. It's only 4 inches tall. It's not that awesome, but it's cute. $50, we give you the Doctor Who yo-yo, the official Doctor Who yo-yo. This is not an unofficial Doctor Who yo-yo. This is the Doctor Who yo-yo. It's cute. It's cute, too. This is all stuff new this year. We've never been able to offer these things to you before, and we're very happy that we can do it tonight. And we'd love to unload some of this stuff on you. 1-800-779. Now, don't take it like that. 1-800-779-7000 is the number to call. Or, as Dan notes, you can point the old browser at www.iptv.org and pledge electronically. We can do that. We can do that.
Well, we can. Genesis coming up. Genesis of the Daleks coming up.
Part 1 of Genesis of the Daleks. We will continue this amazing adventure next week during our regularly scheduled Sci-Fi Friday night.
That would be on Friday nights.
That would be next Friday night, along with Jack Horkheimer will be rejoining us. Red Dwarf, the Man, and Doctor Who.
That would be it.
That would be
exactly
it next Friday night, but we're not done with this Friday yet. 1-800-779-7000.
And if you want the Invisible Man to come back, maybe for me to buy some more of those 65 episodes that they made, you need to tell these folks right now.
65 episodes.
That would be right, yeah. And a sentence that would be too hard to finish right now. 800-779-7000. We've got a minute left. Now it's the time for thank yous. And importantly, we have, we just want to point out that the number of these folks have been coming here to festival for a long time.
Yes.
A K9, I'm told, is now, this is her 23rd, right? Is that right? 23rd? 23rd?
23rd year.
23rd year coming to Iowa Public Television's festivals. As Annie said, that the dog is older than I am. Been here longer than I am. Also, some folks from these groups have been here. One of whom I've mentioned when I've been here before. James is here, and quite really remarkably on his 9th year, 6th year as a transplant recipient, and he, as all of us do, thank all of those of you out there who support public television and who have that little bracelet on, and also who have an organ donor card in their wallet, because as James can tell you, that's something very, very important. All of this is about, exactly right, all of this is about people. In this case, it's the people here in the studio. We thank all of them, and also it's the case of people like you who keep public television going. People like Mike Frisbee, who come here every Friday night and have some fun with science fiction programming, knowing that it's you that make it all possible with your phone calls, with your support, with your encouragement, with your ideas that help us shape a schedule that you can't find anywhere else.
That's
Thanks
right.
to those of you who've made tonight the success that it is, who make Friday nights possible on public television, and everybody else here at public television who sends forth our good wishes with our thanks. We're back tomorrow morning for the final weekend of Festival 2000. Thank you for being friends of Iowa Public Television. Good night.
Good night.
Call now and make your pledge.
Iowa Public Television, a resource for Iowa's future.